So this is the second part to the Ascension series. We are now introducing the gods and new defensive abilities. So let me start with the gods. So first off, if you haven't watched Act 1, please click the link at the top, or is it bottom? I don't know where I put it. And first watch that, because this video tutorial is mainly just adding on to Act 1. Alright, so in Act 1, what you had done is you had actually, when you had done the setup, you had taken these aces out of the game because the gods were not involved yet. But now, in Act 2, they are involved. So I am proud to introduce the 4 gods: Poseidon, Hera, Hades, and Zeus. Alright, so the gameplay is very similar. The flow is still the same. You have the attack, defend, draw phases and all that, and the playstyle and fighting is the same. The only difference is, of course, is the addition of these gods, the defensive abilities, and just the way the deck is set up. So I will start with the gods. So these aces are going to be put in the deck, and you will be playing against them. 2 quick rules is that when they come out, they only do 1 damage. But they can only be defeated by another ace card that you hold. Alright? So, let me go over each of their abilities. So, when Poseidon comes out, target player of your choice, it could be me, any of the players can choose, that player will take 3 wound cards immediately. So Poseidon's pretty much DPS, just bam, hits you really hard. The second one is Hera. So Hera is a little bit interesting. She will make the players fight each other. So let me give you an example. Let me pull out 2 decks here. So let's say she comes out and she makes us attack each other, right? So let's say the warrior has 3 cards and the mage has 3 cards. So how it works is that both players will have a chance to attack and defend against each other. So once Hera comes out, let's say the warrior goes first, right? For attacking, he has to shuffle his hand, flip out a random card. That's the card he attacks with. The mage can then choose to defend. He can say, I'll defend with his 5. So he puts the 5 aside. Alright, so the warrior's attacked. Now it's the mage's turn. So the mage takes his 2 cards, shuffles them somehow, flips 1. That's the card he attacks with, and the warrior's got to defend. He chooses to defend with the jack. So luckily, no one took any damage, but because you guys were so busy fighting each other, when your turn starts, you're going to only have whatever cards left to deal with that round. So Hera, in a sense, not only can have you damage each other, but can also influence or weaken how you fight in the game. So that's Hera. Alright, so the third one would be Hades. Hades is pretty much a staller. I can't think of the word right now. He's like a destabilizer. So what he does is that when he comes into play, target player takes all wound cards from his deck and his discard pile and puts them on top of his deck. So just think about that for a second. All your wound cards are going right on top of your deck. So that's going to be a huge stall for you. So let's say, for example, I'm the rogue and I took a few wounds. Let's say I'm the rogue and Hades comes out, right? So let's say that my deck looks, I have this deck here and this is my discard. Took a couple wounds, obviously. So when he comes out, I have to go through my deck, pick out all the wound cards. So there's 4 right here. And then I go through my discard, 2 right here. Make sure you shuffle your deck again because you saw your cards. And then simply put all these wound cards on top of your deck. So that pretty much stalls you for quite a few rounds. So quite painful. Alright, so that's Hades. Let me put this away. Last but not least, we have Zeus. Zeus, when he comes out, pretty simple. Both players just take 2 wound cards as damage. Alright, so those are the gods. So probably the hardest part of this game, in my opinion, is setting up the god deck. However, I will show you how to do it. It is not that difficult. So Same way you did in Act 1. You know, you got your jacks, queens, kings in a pile. Flip them over, right? And then you're going to have your clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades. Leave the gods face up somewhere else over here. So normally when you had set up the deck from Act 1, you put the king first, 3 cards, then queen, 3 cards, then jack, right? But this time you're going to go in the opposite direction. So in this time, you're going to go 3 cards, then jack, 3 cards, then queen. So I go 3 cards, then jack, right? 3 cards, then queen, and then, oops, 3 cards, king. And you just keep repeating this until you have used all the cards. One quick way to do this is to actually have a friend help you. So if I'm doing it here, right, the friend would be doing these 3 cards, so the friend would just be throwing in the 3 cards each time, right? Sorry, my camera's kind of in a weird angle. So I'm doing this, and my friend is helping me out and popping the royals back in. Oh, I think I misplaced the cards somewhere anyway, right? So that's how it looks. And then once you have this done, pick it up, and now you start putting them back out. And every 12 cards you put down, you put a god card on top. So let's say, so first we put Zeus at the bottom, because he'll be the last one we fight. Alright? It'll be Zeus, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hades, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hera, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Poseidon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, that would be your god deck. So, that's all you gotta do. Alright, so moving on, now we're going to do the classes. So, let me rearrange this real quick. So, let's start with my favorite class, I won't even lie, the warrior. So, right off the bat, well, before I begin, all these abilities are used in the defense phase. So, in Act 1, your ability was an offensive ability used during the attack phase. So now you're getting an ability that you can use during the defense phase afterwards, okay? So the warrior is able to block any monster with any card. Very simple, sounds very simple, but actually quite complicated, or not complicated, but there's a lot of depth to that ability. So let's say with the god deck, let's set it up real quick. Ooh, look at that, easy monsters. All right, so right here in the let me get the warrior's hand out. The warrior, let's say we killed off a few guys, right? We killed these guys, and now we're defending. Let's say my teammate is getting attacked by this spade, or this diamond here. So as a warrior, what I can do with my hand is I can actually use this crappy 3 and block that jack. So you see right here, right? I'm breaking a lot of rules here from normal gameplay where I'm using a lower card to block a monster of a different suit. But that's the warrior. The warrior can do that. And the reason being is that the warrior, the role of the warrior is now he's becoming more of a tank, right? He's able to intervene and protect his teammates while simultaneously get rid of lower cards. So that's pretty much it. Alright? So that's the warrior. Next we have the mage. The mage has a passive ability. It's called, we call it frost armor. So basically, let's say the monsters are back out. We're defending again, right? And this monster's attacking me. And let's say I have no way. Let's say I have a really crappy hand. I have no way to defend that. So I take a hit, and say I take a damage from my other health pile. As soon as I take damage, whatever monster that attacked me gets frozen. So for one turn, the next turn after, that monster is completely frozen, cannot attack, and that is a good way for this class to kind of stall out hits, because as the game gets harder, the mage will be starting to take a lot of hits, and it's important. This is a defensive way to give the mage time to recuperate. All right, so that's the mage. All right, and the other class we have here is the Paladin. Put that one out. The Paladin is more of a reaction defensive ability. So let's say, same thing. Let's say, let me look for a heart real quick. Let's say on the during the defense phase, there's a queen here, right? The queen attacks my Paladin. If my Paladin takes a hit, I can point at another player and have them discard or heal off all wounds in their hands. So let's say I took the hit here, right? And let's say my partner, partner over here, let's say he's the mage, right? The mage is over. The mage is right here, and his hand looks something like this. So he's got his ability and a wound card. So as soon as the monster deals damage to me and I take a hit, I can point at my friend and say, hey, heal all wounds from your hand. So he can put this wound back into his health pile. Alright? So that's the Paladin. Alright. Last but not least is the Rogue. Alright, so this is the part of the video where I actually need some help. So far, the Rogue is the one class where I'm having trouble finding a defensive ability. You know, I've got a bunch of ideas, I've tried them out, but I haven't really been satisfied. So I was hoping that if any viewers here who are actually interested in the game, if you guys are able to test the game out and find an ability that works for the Rogue, you know, please let me know. Put it in the comment section below, and that way I can kind of accumulate a list of ideas for the Rogue and eventually create an ability. So it'd be super great just to get your guys' feedback on this, because so far this is the last piece of the puzzle in my game. Alright, so that's pretty much it. And just to let you know, this game is the final act of Ascension, but that Ascension is just one